Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to Brit Monkey, and yeah, this channel has already turned into one of my favourite. I mean, from what I've seen, he doesn't post very often, because when he posts it's a big video, and it's, yeah, I mean, you've seen from my previous two reactions to this channel that just, yeah, the videos are pretty, I don't know, just like a little journey, but this one's obviously a lot shorter, and I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I've not reacted to or watched many of his videos in general, so it's going to be cool to, I guess, go through a rabbit hole of his videos. But we're going to check this out. Botswana, I don't know anything about this country, but I guess it's doing quite well for itself, based off the title, unless I'm being baited. But yeah, we're going to jump into this. Links are also in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some reactions that I can't post to YouTube, like movies, TV series, all that good stuff. But yeah, links are there for those interested. And yeah, let's just check this out.
Let's say you're just a random African dude and you've been elected the president of an African country that recently gained independence from Great Britain. Your country is the third poorest in the world.
So they really started from the bottom.
You have only 12 miles of paved road. You have only 100 high school graduates in a country of 500,000. Disease is rampant, there's been a drought for 2 years, and you even rely on your previous colonizer to make sure that your government doesn't instantly run out of money. You'd really like to make this better, and other countries in the region have made real progress in helping their citizens before, but they've come at the expense of human rights, the rule of law, democracy, and general freedom. You'd really like to make sure that your population can have both a good standard of living while also having social and political rights. Here's how you'd go about doing that. Firstly, what resources do you have? You should first take stock of what your country has to offer. What have you got? Cattle farming,
Right, I'll shut the door. I was hearing sounds outside and I was worried that it was being picked up on my mic, so I had to shut it. Anyway, let's go back a little bit. I sort of was focusing on other stuff.
First, social and political rights. Here's how you'd go about doing that. Firstly, what resources do you have? You should first take stock of what your country has to offer. What have you got? Cattle farming, vast wilderness, mineral deposits with no tools to get them. Anything else? That's it. Seriously. This is going to be harder than I thought.
Rough.
Okay, so the mines. You take out a big fat loan from the International Monetary Fund and use it to get the tools to crack at your vast mining deposits. With that, you can export it to the Western world and use the money to pay off your loan as well as keep the government running smoothly. Wait, running the government? Everyone is uneducated and unskilled. Who will run the country? Right, well, the British. Yes, the British. Those who were part of the colonial administration can continue to work here until a large enough pool of qualified locals develops. No problem. So with the mining rigs up and running, you can sell the minerals to the rest of the world, becoming an export-focused economy. You would personally negotiate a trade deal with the European Economic Community so that you can start importing and exporting goods freely. The revenue from these trades you can use to invest in health and education. With a public-private ownership model of the mining corporations, 50% of your government revenue comes from the mining industry, and this allows you to keep taxes low and even raise more money than you need to spend. That means bountiful dividends to the public and heavy investment from foreign companies. It also means you can ditch the South African rand as your money and set up your own central bank to use your own currency. By now you have the fastest growing economy in the world.
Damn.
That means subsidies to farmers, vaccinations against diseases, universal education, universal healthcare, airports, contraception, telephones, technology, slippers. At the same time, civil rights and the rule of law are still being protected. Because you're still using the 1966 constitution drawn up by the British, it means you still have to respect the rule of law, and that means free and fair elections. So in 1969, Botswana held its second presidential election since independence. Unsurprisingly, you are re-elected with nearly 70% of the vote, and again in 1974 with an even higher percentage, again in a completely legitimate election. That's how good you are. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, however, as all around your country you are surrounded by the racist regimes of Rhodesia and apartheid South Africa. They do not like the fact that you, a black man, are shockingly running your own country and, get this, doing it well. Also, your wife is white. Big no-no for racists. Until now, you didn't even need an army, because you focused more on poverty reduction than military spending. You never went to war with anyone, so why would you need them? But now Rhodesian and South African-backed terror groups are targeting you and commencing operations in your borders, so you formed the Botswana Defence Force in 1977 to keep them at bay.
So you've had all these things you have to get through, and now you're having to deal with this. It's just like, when are you going to have it go your way?
Also play a role in the founding of the Southern African Development Community as a way for the wider Southern African community to reduce their reliance on South Africa and Rhodesia. In 2019, this region had a nominal GDP slightly bigger than Switzerland. In 1979, you are elected for a fourth time, with 75% of the votes. Unfortunately, you die in office only a few days later and your vice president takes over. But he's just as popular as you, and to this day, your party has consistently been re-elected every election.
Damn.
Since you became president, there's not been a single military coup, major rebellion, or civil unrest. With a proper education system, 90% of your citizens are able to get an education up to age 13 at the very least.
And you go from how it is now, from this, when it was 1966, when there was only 100 people with like degrees or whatever. That, I mean, I know this isn't degrees, but it shows how many more people are going to be able to get that sort of chance in life. Fair enough.
In the past 20 years, infant mortality is down 16%, tuberculosis down 76%, STDs down by 2/3, and malnutrition down by 1/4. In just 13 years, the wealth of your citizens increased 10,000%. Not bad in relation to some of the other countries in the area.
Wow.
Today, your country ranks the lowest in Africa for corruption and instability, and even has accumulated over 7 billion in foreign currency reserves.
So it's the lowest for corruption, which is so fascinating because it's surrounded by a country like South Africa, which is one of the most corrupt in the world. It's crazy how different it is just from doing things a little bit differently, and now you see the differences in, I guess, ways of life and just general things like that.
Over 270,000 tourists visit yearly, despite a 2014 ban on poaching and game hunting. In 2019, your government scrapped a law making same-sex relationships illegal, one of the first in Africa to do so.
Damn.
That's not to say your country is now a utopia though. Nepotism, unemployment, over-reliance on mining, erosion of free speech, as well as a huge AIDS crisis have been plaguing your country in recent times. But with an educated and open-minded population, you should be confident that these are all problems that can be overcome. So in answer to the question, how do you make a country rich from nothing? Number 1, work creatively with your natural resources. Number 2, be practical instead of ideological. And 3, uphold civil liberties and the rule of law.
I'll tell you what is fascinating, the real chance resources give countries. Because there are some countries that have just been stripped because like, the European countries or the US or whoever took the majority of the resources. I'd say more so European countries, because especially with Africa, Europe did a lot of bad, to say the least, in terms of, I guess, colonizing the countries, getting the resources, and then leaving them with I don't want to say nothing, but barely anything, or just not much opportunity to do what they can with the resources that have now been taken. But I guess with Botswana, they still had that opportunity, which is good to see. It's crazy to see how things can change in such a short space of time, and hopefully it will keep going that way, because then maybe in another 30, 40 years it will be another 20% better and just keep going that way.
But it turned out to be the vice president of Botswana.
What?
That is a killer ride.
Yeah, it is.
Just never known anybody to go across in a car. Should be the first time, I think.
What is the Botswanan accent? This is Top Gear.
There they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, is that?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Right
that should
across
be
them.
interesting.
It's just Top Gear. Little clip at the end. Is the Botswanan accent sort of similar to the South African one? I never thought I'd feel such patriotic feelings for a country I've never been to. I think this shows that almost never a country is doomed to fail. The right people in the right positions make things possible. Be practical, not ideological, hits me hard since we believe in ideology is number one important. As a South African, I have huge respect for Botswana. I mean, I wonder how different it is between South Africa and Botswana, because all I hear about South Africa at the moment is it's rough, man. I went on holiday last year in September to Turkey, and I just got talking to a South African family, and she was just talking about how it's awful. And I've done reactions and seen videos of how there's a lot of negatives there and stuff, and also, I mean, there's a lot of clips going around recently of some pretty mental things going on. Me literally learning how to create a country's economy instead of doing my homework. This is more important, man. Come on now. But you hopefully enjoyed this reaction, and yeah, this is a cool little look into what's happening in Botswana. But hopefully enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and let me know what you want to see next. If you're from Botswana, I don't know if you would be. I don't know the chance of that, but if you are, let me know how much it's changed. If you're someone who's a bit older, let me know how it's changed over the time, or if you're younger growing up there, let me know if it's as good as it seems, or it's doing as well as it seems in this video, because obviously this is a short video. It's not going to touch into all like topics and stuff, but yeah, let me know your thoughts, and until next time, peace.